Hey, good afternoon. My name is Erik Anderson. I am your host for today's coaches meeting. We will get started promptly at 1500 Eastern Standard Time, which is in about 17 minutes. If anybody has specific questions about the league, if you would like to ask them now, please use the YouTube chat box. I might be able to address the questions now before the meeting starts, or I will certainly try to address the questions during the meeting itself. Otherwise, please sit back, relax. We got about 15 minutes to wait, and yeah. Good afternoon again. Once again, we'll get started in about 15 minutes. A couple of reminders for everybody while we wait. In order for us to help you promote your team, there are a few things that we are asking you to do during the season. One, please try to arrange to have your team's photo taken, and you can send those photos into the league administrator, and we'll put them up on our website and give them out to the media when requested. Speaking of the media, we also have press releases that we will be sending out after each game. Pretty much all of you, most of you are high school teachers, and you should have certainly a school newspaper. Please try to get the email address of your school's newspaper that we can submit press releases to, and we'll be more than happy to send those press releases to help promote your team, get them some positive attention. But we do need those email addresses, so please try to collect those and send them in to us so we can, like I said, help promote your team. And certainly, please make sure that you are on the latest version of Orion. This year in particular, that is important. The latest version came out 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it's version 2.23. But otherwise, like I said, we will get started looks like in about 12 minutes, right at 1500 Eastern Standard Time. All right, coaches. Again, my name is Erik Anderson. We will get started at 1500, which is in about, looks like about 7 minutes. If you have any questions about the league, feel free to use the YouTube chat box to type in your question. I can perhaps try to answer the question now before the meeting gets started in earnest. Or I will certainly try to answer your question, make a note of it, and try to answer the question during the coaches' meeting. A couple reminders, coaches. One, please try to arrange to have your team's photo taken and send that in to us. We not only put it up on the league's website, we also, when asked, distribute it to the media. Speaking of the media, also please try to collect your either your school's local newspaper or your hometown local newspapers press release submission email address. We will be happy to help promote your team if we have that information. But we do need to ask you to track that information down so we can send out the press releases to them. Additionally, coaches, reminder, please double check your team's registration. Full order and precision. The biggest thing to look at is your team name, making sure the team name is correct. If you are part of a JRTC service, make sure we have correctly identified that service in the team name. Once we have created the schedule, it is impossible for us to change the team name. So please check the team name now before the schedule gets created. We did have a question that came in, and it's whether or not teams can participate in the preseason more than once. You may. Absolutely encourage it. Please do send in a request to league at scopus.tech with your team name, and we will add you a second time, or if you really wanted to shoot a third time, we can do that too, to the preseason. Yes, for the preseason, you may shoot it more than once. And again, with that, I will kind of go silent again for the next 5 minutes, and we will get started promptly at 1500. All right, coaches, I'm going to apologize there and restart. My mute button was getting stuck. So let me restart. I apologize. Welcome. My name is Erik Anderson. I am the league administrator for the National Air Rifle League. And I am joined today by John Becker, and we will be your host for today's coaches meeting. For those of you who have not met John, we're very fortunate to have him as a member of our team. He has an extensive background in the shooting sports. Former coach at Granbury, former Texas State CMP director, has coaching certifications. Like I said, we're very fortunate to have him as a member of our team. And quite frankly, this league has grown so much, I cannot run the match. I cannot run the league by myself. So he actually does most of the day-to-day legwork running the league. All right, logistics. I will try to keep this meeting to about 50 minutes. We have a lot of information to get through, and thanks to all of you, the league grows each year, so we have more information to get through each year. The coaches meeting is specific to the Air Rifle League. If you have questions about how to use Orion or use your EST system, those are outside of today's meeting, but do call in to our support desk for those types of questions. If you have questions about the league during the meeting, please use your YouTube chat box, and I will either be able to address it during the meeting itself. I will hold it towards the end, or as you see already using it, some of our support team members will be addressing those questions as well. As a reminder, today's webinar will be recorded and available for download after the fact. Some statistics. This is the 10th year of the league, kind of a big number. And this year we have a record number of teams. 170 plus teams registered this year, including 140 supporter teams and 30 precision teams. Thank you so much for that vote of confidence. Every year that we see that the league is growing, we know that we are doing a good job, and we know that you appreciate the efforts that we're putting into it. So thank you. And of course, this league is for you and your team. So thank you. We have participants from 37 different states this year, and 3 teams from Germany and 1 team from Japan. All right, so before I really get into the content of the coaches meeting, I wanted to do a little something unusual and share with you a problem that my development team and I have been working on for the last 5 years. And we called this problem the swimmer problem. And for full disclosure, it has nothing to do with swimmers. There's not a problem with swimmers. But rather, in this problem, the swimmer represents somebody who doesn't know anything about the sport of shooting. And the problem, comes about this way. So imagine a swimmer wakes up in the morning, they go to the pool, they swim there 10,000 meters, they get out, dry off, and they look across the hallway and into the rifle range, and they see something is going on in the rifle range. So they walk over, curious, stick their head in, and try to figure out what's going on. So again, the swimmer doesn't know anything about the sport of shooting. So the problem is, how can we engage that swimmer in as little time as possible, just a few seconds, and allow them to know what's going on, who's playing, who's winning, and by how much. Now this problem is important to all of us because I have listened to you, the coaches, tell me time and time again how much you want your team to be better recognized by everybody. How much you want your team to be promoted by the media, to be recognized by the media, and to have your team's journey shared. So we here at Scopus have been doing a lot of work to try to solve this swimmers problem. And today, during the coaches meeting, I'm going to share with you some of the tools you, as a coach, have access to help solve this swimmer's problem. All right, many of you are coming back from last year, so I wanted to kind of highlight some of the changes from last year compared to this year. First, if you have disabled athletes on your team, specifically SH1 athletes, they are welcome to participate with your team in whole. I will refer to the CMP for adaptations for disabled athletes, but SH1 athletes are permitted to shoot with your team. If your team makes it to the postseason, one of our changes is the entire team can now compete in the postseason. In previous years, we limited it to just 5 members of your team during the postseason. We've changed that. Now every member of your team may participate in the postseason. We actually started this halfway through the season last year, but this is the first year we have it for the entire season. We have individual marksman statistics available now on the league website, and we'll go into that later on in the presentation. Technically not a change, but a change in the emphasis. We are now saying that your scores are due when you shoot your game. You can't hold on, if you're shooting on paper, you can't hold on to your targets for a few days. You need to be scanning in those targets as you are shooting. And perhaps the change that I am most excited about, we have a brand new press release generator. Of course, press releases are very important, going back to the swimmer problem, to give information to the media so they can put your team's successes in the newspaper, in the magazine, on the websites. And this press release generator, like I said, I'm really excited about it. You see an excerpt from a game from last season between Kelly Walsh and Zion Benton. One of my developers, Ben Wolin, deserves a lot of credit for putting it together. We're using artificial intelligence to generate the press releases. They are coming out. I'm really blown by how well they are coming out. So this is brand new. I really think it's going to help not just promote the league, but like I said, promote your program. All right, so let's talk about the success of the league. And for the league to be successful every year, every season, we both have a role to play in that success. Both John and I, as the league administrators, and you as the coaches, are part of this responsibility for this success. So, for example, the first bullet point, we are required to schedule the games weekly. And coaches, in order for us to schedule the games, we need to know if you have any scheduling conflicts. A lot of you have done a good job of telling us your bye-week requests when you registered. Thank you. That really helps out. But if something comes up during the season, let us know as soon as possible so we can work with you. As league administrators, we have a responsibility to announce the winners of the game every Monday. Keep the league going. And in order for us to announce the winners, we need scores from you, the teams, the coaches. And again, to make that more exciting, coaches, your responsibility is to submit the scores as you are shooting. As administrators, we are required to provide a set of standard playing conditions for all teams. That's where the range script comes into play. We have PDFs versions of that available. And you, as the coaches, your responsibility is to follow those range scripts. And going back to the swimmer problem again, we have a responsibility to promote the league and the teams to the media. And we'll generally do that to help to promote the teams to your local media. We need those newspapers' email addresses. Oops. All right, the season. The season of the league has 3 parts. The preseason is going on now. and it goes through 28th of September, Sunday. We did have a question about the preseason, if you are allowed to participate in the preseason multiple times. You are. So preseason specifically, you are allowed to participate multiple times. If your team would like to do that, please send in a request to our league email, and we'll be more than happy to help you out. The regular season starts on Monday, and it goes for 8 weeks. Most weeks during the season, you'll have exactly one game to play, and you'll have one bye week during the season. And again, most of you did a good job of requesting bye weeks when you registered. The schedule is created dynamically by Orion, by us, the League Administrator, and we're talking about how the schedule is created in a few slides. And both the regular season and the postseason, again, this is a change in the rule, all of your team members are allowed to participate during the regular season. The top 4 athletes will constitute your team score. The postseason, for the top teams who advance, not everybody advances, the top teams do advance though, it starts the week after Thanksgiving. In the Champions Division, both on the Sporter side and to determine the league winner. If you are in the Distinguished or Elite divisions, we have a 1-game title conference game that you're invited to play, and the winner of that game is the winner of that conference and division. And again, new this year for the postseason, all of your team members may participate in the postseason with the top 4 athletes counting. All right, the organization of the league. On the screen, we have on the left-hand side the Sporter. We have 3 divisions. Champions are reserved. The Champions Division is reserved for the top teams. If you made it to the Champions Division, congratulations. That does mean you're one of the best teams in the country. And then we have the Distinguished Division and the Elite Division. And within this, we have conferences, largely based on the various, in the Sport Division, based on the JRC services. And then we have a Junior Rifle Club conference that is kind of a catch-all between junior rifle clubs, high school programs, 4-H programs, American Legions, and so forth. On the precision side, we have 2 divisions, Champions and Distinguished, and we have 2 conferences for JRDC and, again, junior rifle clubs. All right, squatting into the division. First thing to know about that, it is quantitative. We decided the numbers last year, and we stick to those numbers. To make it into the Champions Division, again, Champions Division is reserved for the top teams in the country. If you made it, congratulations. You have to do 2 things. You shoot well last season, and you have to have a qualifying score in a shoulder-to-shoulder match. And then we also have, from scores from last season, what makes it into the Distinguished or Elite divisions. All right, at this point, I am going to pause for a moment, and I would like coaches, if you could click on these links and double check your team's registrations. There are a few things that we want to make sure that we get right before we create the schedule in a couple of days. Perhaps most important is your team name. Make sure we spelled it correctly. Make sure we have, if you're a member of a JRC program, make sure we have listed, if you're Army, that we listed in the Army. If you're Navy, we listed in the Navy, and so forth. Your hometown. See if your conference and division assignments make sense to you. And certainly if you have any bye week requests, perhaps they may have changed, may have clicked on the wrong thing, but make sure the bye week requests are correct. So again, I'm going to pause for about 60 seconds. And if you, the coaches, could take this moment just to double check this information. All right, coaches, thank you. If you do have any changes, please get those changes to us, preferably by close of business today, but certainly by really about noon tomorrow before we start creating everything. Once again, before I move on, just a reminder: if you have questions, all of this information is for you. Please ask your question in the YouTube chat box. All right, games. A game there's one game a week. And for the purpose of the league, a game is defined as Monday through Sunday. The Sporter Course of Fire is a 3x10 during the regular season. Scored in decimal, we are modern here. And during the postseason, we do change it to a 3x20. If you're in the Precision League, the Course of Fire is 60 shots standing. Same Course of Fire they shoot in Olympic Games, by the way. And again, scored in decimal scoring. All games are virtual by default. That means you will be shooting from your home range, and the team that you're competing against that week will also be shooting from their home range. A quick note, if by chance you geographically live close to the team that you're shooting against and would prefer to have a shoulder-to-shoulder match, we can arrange that. Please just let us know ahead of time. All games will be governed by the National Standard 3-Position Air Rifle rules. This is the same rule book that you all know and love. It's pretty much the de facto rule book for high school air rifle shooting in this country. And all scoring will be done electronically. If you're shooting on paper, you'll be using Orion. If you have a Athena system, you can use the Athena EST system. Or if you prefer to be paying a lot more with tariffs, you can use Megalink or Zeus. All right. As coaches, one of your responsibilities is to find a time during the week, Monday through Sunday, to schedule your team to compete. Now, some of you have large teams. Some of you have 20, sometimes 30 members of your team. We think that's good. And it might take you 2 relays or sometimes 2 days to have all members of your team compete. That's fine. It really is. And certainly, a lot of you practice when you're not competing. Again, we encourage you to practice. So it's okay if you split your team up and some of you are practicing one day, some of you are competing one day, and vice versa later on. But what is not okay is to try to compete in a league multiple times for a single game. We have caught teams doing that, and that does get you a disqualification if you shoot multiple times for the same game. All right, so scheduling. Scheduling, we call it dynamic scheduling. We create the schedule as the league goes on. And our goals for scheduling have, there's really 2 different goals for scheduling a game each week. And those goals are competing. They contradict each other. The first goal is that we're trying to provide a diversity of teams to compete against. It'd be really boring if you shot against the same team week after week, year after year. So we want to mix that up. The second goal is try to get teams of the same skill level to compete against each other. And again, these goals are contradictory. I get it. They don't match up well. But we do try to achieve both of those. For the first 2 weeks of the league, the schedule is completely random. You are assigned against somebody else randomly in the league. So that provides a lot of diversity in the schedule. And we'll announce that on Friday. Starting with the third week, we schedule games based on previous results. And that's where we start to try to match up teams of near equal skill level. And that will continue through the rest of the season. Also to note, starting with that third week, we do try to emphasize scheduling games where you have the same division and the same conference as your opponent, but we only emphasize it. We can't guarantee it. And the other thing to note with scheduling is if a team does have 2 DNSs, we stop scheduling them. DNS did not start, so it's not fair to, if a team is not competing, to keep keep scheduling them. All right, so let's talk about how teams are actually ranked, both overall and within your conference and divisional standings. The rankings will be available on the league website. You go to national-leagues.com or results.scopus.tech. So both overall and within your standings, we order teams based on league points. And what league points are is this combination of your seasonal average plus effectively bonus points for each win that you get. 10 points for a win, 0 points for a loss. But we also have negative points if you have a DNS, so that makes it important to shoot every week. And we even have a bigger penalty if you have a DSQ, disqualification. And you can see an example down below about how these league points are combined. Again, it's your seasonal average plus effectively bonus points for each win. All right, postseason. The postseason. We have a lot of postseason slots available. They are reserved for the top teams from the regular season. If you are in the Sporter League, there is a Sporter Championship tournament for the top 8 teams, and that will determine the Sporter League team champion. Because we have so many quality Sporter teams, we have a second tournament that we call the Invitational Tournament, largely for promotion purposes. On the precision side, we have one tournament for the top 8 teams. Again, top 8 teams from the regular season get to advance. And then for the distinguished and elite divisions between the different conferences, the top 2 teams advance, and that's the conference title game. For all of these postseason tournaments and conference title games, the seeding is based on league points from the regular season. All right, how to participate in a game. There was a question about the league scripts, the instructions and range command manual. We will be sending that out in an email soon. I'm looking at John to make sure that happens. It will. But also that same script is available on the league website. The little video that you see on the right-hand side shows you how to access those scripts using your mobile phone. We also have a YouTube video with step-by-step instructions on how to participate in a league game. So perhaps you like watching videos more, go to the YouTube video. Perhaps you like reading text, go to the printed instructions. But both of those tell you the same thing on how to participate in a league game. One of the best things you can do is to practice participating by practicing in the preseason. Again, preseason is going on now. It goes on through Sunday. If you have already participated, great. You still have time to if you haven't. During the season, a new game will be available to you each week about Monday at noon. We are human, and it does take a little bit of time to go through all the different games and release them. And we have a lot of teams this year, but we do try to get that out by Monday at noon. As a reminder, coaches, use of the range command script is mandatory. Part of our commitment to make sure all of the different teams are competing on the same playing field. If you are using Athena, we physically force you to use the range commands through Orion. If you're shooting on paper, or if you're shooting on a different EST system, again, the instructions and range command manual is available to you, both online and we'll send out via email. And certainly, if you like old school, the same commands are available on the CMP website. And finally, going back to the swimmer problem again, emphasis this year is to turning in your scores on time when you are shooting. Don't hang on to your targets. A lot of coaches were abusing that in previous years. Scan and score your targets immediately while you're shooting. The reason is live events are more entertaining. If you want to engage that swimmer, you want to engage the people who are not familiar with the shooting sports, turning in scores live is going to entertain them a lot more than hanging on to the targets. And this brings us to leaderboards. Again, live events are more exciting. And coaches, one of the big areas that we here at Scopus have been emphasizing over the last 18 months is improving our resultless system and our leaderboard system. And you have access to it. Yes, I'm biased, but it is a world-class resultless system, better than anything else in this country. I think better than anything else in the world, to be honest. And you have access to it, not just for the league game, but for every shoulder-to-shoulder competition that you compete in. Links to open up the leaderboard are available when you are shooting, when the games are live, and display them on your range. This is a simple thing to do to promote, to help spectators, parents, volunteers, other students understand what's going on. Display it on your range, a large screen TV, projector, what have you. Simple thing to do, and you have access to it. And the leaderboard, as you're shooting, will get updated live. Not just with the scores you have in the system, but also projections. It's what makes it exciting. If you're shooting on ESTs, it gets updated about once every 20 seconds. That's about how long it takes. If you're shooting on paper, as soon as you scan in that target, again, it only takes about 20 to 30 seconds after you scan in the target before the results are available on that leaderboard. Plus, when you're using the leaderboard, you'll see your scores and you know that your scores are getting turned in correctly. And like I said, going back to the swimmer problem, this last orange box here, this is how to engage spectators in your range, physically in your range. All right. A lot of you have already participated in the preseason. Thank you. I have, as I've been watching you, I've seen a lot of common mistakes teams have been making during the preseason. And I would like to point them out now so you can get them corrected before the regular season. I've seen a few teams already still shooting in the old ordering of prone, standing, kneeling. We are using the modern position ordering of kneeling, prone, standing. They actually have been shooting kneeling, prone, standing in the Olympic Games since 2016. So that's the modern way that we will follow the kneeling, prone, standing ordering. I've also seen a few teams where the individual athletes have shot, but there's no team score. What happens there is you have not been assigning your team members to your team. So team members, yeah, they're getting scores, but your team is not. So make sure your athletes are assigned to your team in the Match Competitors tab in Orion. This really isn't technically a mistake, more of a warning. New this year is, of course, individual athlete statistics. And most of the athletes so far that have been shooting in the preseason, their scores have not been linked to their accounts. And we'll talk about how to do that here in a few slides, really to help promote the individual athletes. And then finally, some of you are still using outdated versions of Orion. We've pleaded with you, we've begged you in the past, depending on how old the version of Orion that you're using, if it's too old, your scores will not get counted. We've warned you. Warnings are over. If you don't update, if you're not on the latest version, your rescue score is not being counted. And with all, it's good. Those were the common mistakes I saw during the preseason. During the regular season, I really cannot emphasize this enough. Regardless if you're using a leaderboard or not, please check your scores online. Make sure the scores got reported correctly. Inside of Orion, there's a globe icon. Click it. It will open up the results website. It will open up to the game page. And over on the right-hand side, again in red, you'll see the scores you should see your score, your team score, and if your other team has competed, their score as well. If that's a 0, something is wrong. If you don't see your team score listed there, something is wrong. Again, perhaps you didn't assign team members to your team. Perhaps you're using an outdated version of Orion, but something is wrong. Try to correct it. If you can't figure out what's wrong, call our support desk to get it corrected. And again, emphasis this year is your scores are due when you shoot. Team coach, I get it. Not everybody can shoot on Mondays, not everybody can shoot on Tuesdays, etc. Some of you only have access to the range on Sunday, but the point is, as a team coach, you're to schedule your team to shoot sometime between Monday and Sunday. When you do shoot, you are to turn in your scores at that time. If you have technical questions, technical problems with using Orion to get your scores submitted, our support desk, we have real live Americans manning the support desk, is available Monday through Saturday. We do not have hours on Sunday. If you do have a technical problem, after hours, please email us. If you wait until Monday morning to email us, we're not going to be able to help you out. Email us when you are having those problems. As a note, we do perform random target checks, especially for those who are shooting on paper. The thing that we're looking for is, of course, correct scoring. If there are applicable penalties, that they get applied correctly. The biggest error that we see is the extra shots fired penalty. Kind of technical, don't really want to get into it, but if you have questions on if an athlete fires 11 shots in your prone stage, 11 shots in kneeling stage, if you have questions on how to adjudicate that, certainly call us, email us, we'll help you out. But we do perform random target checks to make sure everything got scored correctly. Some special circumstances that come up pretty much every year. I'm sure they will again this year. If you have a scheduling conflict, again, most of you have turned in your bye weeks, but things come up during the season. The sooner you can let us know about a conflict, the more likely that we can help you. We want your team to be able to compete. If you tell us ahead of time, we can probably help you out. If you wait until after the fact, we probably can't. If an athlete is sick, the game goes on. I've always used the analogy of a sick point guard on a basketball team. You depend on the depth of your team. So the top 4 team members count. If you have a member that's sick, let's have a deep team, and it keeps going. Okay, if you do have to shoot 2 games in a week, this would, by the way, only occur if there is a schedule change. You, of course, have to shoot them separately. And then in an extreme condition, please note that we do have the authority to cancel a game. We only do this in, again, extreme conditions. Unfortunately, hurricanes have happened in the past. Major weather events causes schools to close down for weeks sometimes. So we don't cancel a game unless it's that dire, but they do occasionally happen. All right, something a bit more positive. Press releases. As I mentioned at the start of this, one of the big changes I'm excited about for this season is a revamped and much improved press release generation. For those of you who have competed in the past, the press releases that we had before, functional, yes, but they were not without a lot of creativity. Our new press releases are generated by artificial intelligence and substantially better. Actually, I was showing them off to my dad this past weekend. For those of you who don't know my dad, Gary Anderson, small career in the shooting sports. He writes an article for the CMPs on the mark. Pretty good writer himself. And he even told me that he can't write a press release that good. So very excited about these new press releases that we will be sending out. We will be generating them for each game and sending them out to you, the coach, and to any newspaper source that you give us. Again, to help us help you promote your team, give us the email address of your school's newspaper, your hometown newspaper, and we'll send those press releases to them. It's going to help promote your team to a wider audience. It only benefits you. And we'll also be creating press releases for the league as a whole. And we'll be making those available both on our website, and we'll also be publishing them on theshootingwire.com. When we send out the press releases, first question the media asks is, do you have photos? So again, help us help you promote your team. Please schedule time to take photos of your team and send those into our send those into our league administrator, and we'll post them up on the league website. And when the members of the media ask, we will also provide those same photos to the members of the media. And of course, please have all of your team members in the team photo. Coaches, you're welcome to be part of the team photo. This particular photo from Sepulpa, they're in their shooting gear. Great. Some of you like to be in your school's colors. Equally great. Your club warm-up uniforms, all that is fine. All right. Awards. Fun stuff. We try to give out as many awards as reasonably possible. Participation awards. We'll send this out about the third week of the league. Each team will receive a league poster, and each athlete will receive a participation pin and a sticker for the rifle. Competition awards. Each division conference combination, the top 3 teams will get medals for all the athletes and a banner for your range. Keep in mind that in the Champions Division, the results is based on the regular season results only. If you're in the Distinguished or Elite Division, it's the regular season plus the conference title game in the postseason. The Championship Tournament Awards for the postseason tournaments. Again, medals for the athletes who advance, and banners for the teams who advance. We now have a couple different individual awards that we'll be handing out. The MVP will receive a plaque, and the MVP is defined as the athlete who has the highest postseason scores for the winning team. And new this year is individual statistics for marksmen. Like I said, we actually started this halfway through last season, didn't really do much with it, but it is available for the entire season this year. For the athletes who opt in, and it is an opt-in process, their individual statistics will be listed on the website. To opt in, we do believe in privacy, so this is why there is this opt-in process. Athletes have to create a Scopus account. They have to enable their public profile, and you have to make sure that you link them in Orion. But when you do that, athletes can do amazing things like track their score history. They can graph their score history, and once again, their scores will get listed under the individual standings. And the top 4 individual athletes will give them T-shirts at the end of the year. All right, this year's poster. We put a lot of work into our posters every year. Last year, it was very STEM-oriented: science, technology, engineering, mathematics. This year, we created a how-to poster to competing in finals. Finals again, going back to the swimmer problem, finals represent shooting's best hope right now of becoming a spectator event. They're exciting, really exciting to watch. I encourage coaches, encourage all of you to, when you're running a shoulder-to-shoulder match, run a start from zero final. If you're not even running a match, still practice finals. And this is where this poster comes into play. So it's intended to, like I said, it's a how-to poster. What is the course of fire? What are the strategies you have to take with? What are the rules with the finals? So all this poster will be going out with the participation awards in a few weeks. All right, league merchandise. You asked for it, and we delivered. So if you would like additional copies of the poster, they're available on our website, and we also have T-shirts available on our website as well. All right, we're getting to the end here. Coach's contact information. A lot of you, and I think this is great. I really think this shows a lot of sportsmanship when you can do this. Like to contact each other both before and after the game. You're of course competing virtually, so you don't have that face-to-face handshake. But it's really nice if you can send out just a welcome email to your opposing coach. Tell a little bit about your team. And I think it's great. We have teams from Germany and Japan and Hawaii and Alaska. Tell a little bit about your team to the opposing team each week. And after the game, win or lose, congratulate them if they win. Show your sportsmanship and show your humility. If you lose, this is all part of the game. So we will be sending out your contact information that you provided when you registered to the entire coaching community within the league. If you wish to opt out, don't want your information shared, that's fine. But again, please let us know before Monday so we can exclude your information. And of course, be respectful of this information. It's provided to you so you can show your sportsmanship. And we ask that you only use that information for that purpose. All right, in summary, the league starts on Monday. Contact us, league@scopus.tech, with any questions or concerns. You have Monday to Sunday to compete. Scores are due when you shoot. Check that they got uploaded. Have fun. The league is a great opportunity to, early season opportunity to get your team to practice. Have fun, work hard. And I have seen this so many times now. This is our 10th season. League play favors teams that improve. Encourage your team to practice even when they are not competing in a league game, and that is how you can have much success in the league itself. All right, so with that, I will open the floor up to questions. And I will stay online as long as we have questions that need answering. If you wish to drop off, coaches, thank you for joining us. Best of luck to you and your team. Remember the swimmer problem and all the tools you have access to now to help solve the swimmer problem and promote your team to the media, to your school, to your parents, to everybody around you. And yes, there was a question, I was smirking about this earlier, about what the coffee cup consumed meant. My engineering team, being engineers, we quantitatively track the amount of coffee that we drink. All right, it doesn't look like there are any questions coming in. Again, if you do have a question, I'll stay on for additional moment or two. Use the YouTube chat box to type in your question. Excuse me. But otherwise, again, coaches, thank you for joining us, and best of luck to each of you. Rodney Murphy, thank you for your comment. Glad you have enjoyed the leagues in the past, and we hope you and your team continue to enjoy the leagues. We're happy to put them on. Like I said, this is the league is a good early season competition, and hopefully a really good way to not just get experience, but promote your team. Will the slides be available? The YouTube recording of this event will be available. And yes, we can make the slide deck available. All right, doesn't appear that there are any additional questions coming in. I will leave you now. Again, coaches, thank you for joining us. Please do your part in promoting your teams. We've got a lot of great tools available now to solve the swimmer problem, as I keep saying. And thank you for coming along. Thank you for joining the league, and good luck to each of you.